There you go. Got it.
Okay, good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. We are here for the Orange Township Board of Trustees regular meeting. Donna, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Faust?
Here.
Trustee Knapp? Here. Trustee Ringel?
Here.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, do we have any general announcements?
I have one.
Great.
There's an event coming up with the Lewis Center Business Connect next Tuesday evening, starting at 5:30. David and Mary's is hosting. So if you haven't been to their market, consider going out.
Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't been there yet, so I hope to attend. Anybody else? Oh yeah, we have a blood drive here at Orange Township Hall on Friday. So I think there's still a couple spots, so sign up on the Red Cross website. We had a great turnout last time that we did it, like December timeframe, so hopefully we can have just as much participation. I always appreciate our community stepping out for that. Anything else? We had a great business breakfast last week, so thank you to our events committee and specifically Sydney and all of your guys' work for that. We had Auditor Keitza and Senator Rep Lorenz, spoke talking about property tax and just an opportunity to network with other local businesses. Thank you to the Ohioan for donating the space. Food was delicious as always. It's a good time.
Really was.
Yeah. Okay, public comment?
Good afternoon. Jen Kagi with the Delaware Public Health District. Just a few updates. We have our annual District Advisory Council meeting. I believe, Lisa, you're going to be repping that. So I did just have a couple of things I'll give to you before I leave. And then the other piece is we're advertising. We have some different options for free overdose prevention tools. So as always, we have naloxone kits that are available. We also have fentanyl and xylazine strips that help test for those substances. And then we do have nalox boxes, so whether you are interested in one that's indoors or outdoors. For example, we put one up at Concord Township Park, I think outside their bathroom. So we have some of those options if you're interested. So I can leave you some information on that. Just get a hold of my staff and then we can take care of you.
So Jen, can you explain a little bit about that last item real quick that I'm not familiar with?
For the nalox boxes?
Yeah, what's that?
So they will hold anywhere, I think right around 4 kits. There might be more. There's different sizes based off of what your needs are. We do have some funding through the county opiate dollars, plus through the Ohio Department of Health to be able to purchase different boxes. So it's similar to if you had like your AED box where somebody could go in if they need a naloxone, they can, there's not alarms or anything on it. There's sophisticated ones, we don't use those, where somebody can go in, help themselves, and then you would just have to let us know if you needed it replenished. We can come down and replenish it and make sure that you have a good stock available.
Cool, that's helpful to know. Thanks. Thank you. Okay, any other general announcements? Okay, or public comment? Sorry, that's what I meant. Okay, no. All right, we are going to have a presentation about Station 362.
Okay, we'll kick it off. We'll speak with regards to the financing and the results of our bid proposals. On February the 2nd, we received 3 proposals, Commerce Bank, JP Morgan Chase, and Webster Bank. Right out the gate, Commerce Bank has been deemed their bid proposal is void regarding some issues not following revised code, so we're not even going to really talk much about them. JP Morgan Chase came in. They had several different options for us. We had a 10-year with no call, a 10-year at a call at year 29, or excuse me, not 29, at 2029. So in about, about what, year 4 or 5. And then they also presented a 15-year, and the 10-year with no call was at an interest rate of 3.68%. The 10-year with the call was at 3.96. Their 15-year no call came in at 3.82%, and their 15-year with a call in year 2029 was 4.20%. They had the largest fees with regards to the bank fees. They were at $8,500, in addition to the cost of issuance fees. The third and final bank came in, it was Webster Bank. They came with 2 proposals, a 10-year at 3.795% and a 15-year at 4.06%. The 10-year has a call at 2030, and the 15-year has a call at 2031. Their bank fees were the lowest, coming in at $3,500. There is a 1% penalty if the township would like to call prior to the 2 dates indicated in the proposals. After further review and consultation with Heather Meyer from Bradley Payne, as well as Michelle, Township Administrator Michelle Bonney, and my assistant Todd Toby, we decided to go with the Webster Bank at the 10-year with the 3.795. Those projections put us right at where we had been projecting our budget forecasting. It was a total principal of the $12 million. Total interest paid on that is $2,404,512.05, with a total payback of $14,404,512.05. The difference between the 10-year and the 15-year was a total of $1,581,900.45. So we kind of looked at that. The difference between the two was a medic. So that was one of the driving forces of moving forward with that, with the 10-year option. So we will close on this bond on February 25th. We do have some cost of issuance with regards to the municipal advisors, bond councils for both us and the bank, and then a minimal charge for a municipal portal that we will monitor our bond.
We deemed it was more efficient to pay for the cost of issuance in cash up front rather than finance them.
That is correct. It was going to increase our interest rates as well if we added those cost of issuance to those bond the payback percentage rates.
So do you know about how much we're paying annually?
Yes, let's see, right there. There you go. There is your debt schedule. So we will be paying roughly $1,442,000 to $43,000 a year. So we came in pretty close. We were looking at that $1,400,000 when we were going through our budget projections.
And which we talked about, we're still splitting that 50-50 between the fire
Yes.
fund and the general fund?
Yes,
Okay.
that is correct.
Okay. Thank you for, I'm a big proponent of let's borrow money for less time if possible. So thank you
Yes.
for hearing what I said.
Yeah, we kicked around, but yeah, looking at that $1.5 million, it is money that it could very well be used for new engines. We'll be finishing up the build of this station, possible renovations with regards to Station 2, so hopefully that will free up some of those revenue funds.
Is there a prepayment fee? Did you say there's not, or there's a 1%?
So there is a 1% up into the call date, so the 10-year
So as
call
long as we
date,
don't pay it off before December 1st of 2030.
that is correct.
So we could pay it off on December 3rd of 2030 and no fees?
Yes. Yeah.
So 4 years?
Yeah. And depending on what the market is, there could be a situation where, paying that 1% would be a better option for the township. So I know that sounds,
To
a
refinance
little
or
backwards,
something?
but yeah, if we're saving in the long run. But no, with the help of Heather, I don't know if you have any questions for Heather Myers with Bradley Payne, we'll be, working and having them work with us through the whole 10 years.
Okay. Did we make a motion on this? Are we going to? We have to approve it?
No, you approved all of that at the December, the first December meeting.
Even before we got the bid? Even
That is
before we got the
correct.
bids? Okay.
Yes,
All right.
And then Donna had to make the decision, right?
that is
So
correct.
that was in the motion that she would make the decision?
Yeah.
Yes. And after discussion with both Heather and, I'm sorry, I forget Zach. Yes. Webster Bank came very highly rated from them with regards to ease of working with them. I mean, even with regards to the callback, they seemed to be very, very accommodating and flexible to the township's needs.
Good. Any other questions about financing?
So the delivery date is the 25th, next week? So
Yep, that is correct.
that's when we'll receive the bond proceeds?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
And now, I believe Silas is going to take over as to how they're going to spend those proceeds.
You're gonna build us a fire station.
We're gonna build you a very nice station.
Okay, I believe there's a little bit of a slideshow with some renderings here that'll hopefully put a little color to the process that's been underway for the last year and a half-ish or so. I guess real quick from a higher level, this project started quite a while back with Chief AJ, Project Manager Phil Miller, obviously Michelle, a lot of the fire department staff, and myself of figuring out the best way to put this together with the board's wishes, with the site that we have to work with, and kind of working through what we had. There's been a lot of challenges with it just because the site is great, it's paid for, which is really important. But it does obviously come with some challenges. It's not a big canvas to paint on, but it is a canvas to paint on. And I think through our engineering team and our design team from App Architecture and our CMAR with Robertson, the end product that you're going to see through the renderings really captures how well this will fit on the site that we have with respect to the Veterans Memorial to the west, Public Works Facility to the north, and the existing 362 to kind of the northeast there. So if you can go back one, Michelle or Eric, whoever's driving that. So this would be the view from kind of the intersection in South Old State and Orange Road. Obviously, there's a lot of topography with the site too. So drainage, utilities, the existing road frontage kind of became a little bit of a challenge to try to figure out how to fit all this together. When you're looking at probably the biggest investment in the history of the township, we want to be respectful of the funding available. And when we look at, trying to build something that's going to, transcend generations and trying to look at a 50+ years build for the township, all these little things go into the longevity. So this thing is not a maintenance nightmare for anybody going forward. And a lot of credit goes to Chief and AJ for their experience with the current 361, which is 21, 22 years old now, and trying to look back to, potential things that we wish we'd have known 20 years ago that we could learn from that facility as we put it into this facility. So I'll let Chief talk about the X's and O's, but the goal of this from the exterior standpoint was obviously to make it fit, kind of plan for the Veterans Memorial, how these two facilities would be programmed together in the future. but also trying to kind of look at a minimalist impact where the maintenance will be attainable. It won't be cumbersome for staff or for fire staff as well, since they're good at a lot of things, but I don't think we check their credentials for landscaping and facility maintenance when we hire them. So they do a great job with a lot of things. We want to make sure we kind of ease the maintenance responsibility of them going forward as we design the exterior. This has a lot of a residential feel based on the location it's in, and I think you'll see there's a little bit of room for growth. We do not want to build a facility for now. We want to build a facility for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years or longer. So Eric, you're welcome to jump a slide or two ahead. This is the view from the back of the building where staff will park, and there's a little retention pond on site to the left side. And then we're going to go into the inside of the building, and I'll kick this over to Chief because he knows a lot about fire.
All right, board, so this right here is entering into the main hallway. This will be a controlled area, much like we have at 361. We currently don't have that at 362. We just have it, basically whoever comes to our door has to stand outside. So this allows people to come inside, get out of the elements from the main door. They'll be in the vestibule here, and then we'll have a call phone and also an emergency phone for if someone's coming in, a walk-in that needs help, and they'll be able to get our either us or dispatch us to the station, which happens sometimes when no one's there. So this will be the main area, the entrance area. Next slide. And then that's just showing a little decoration we plan on doing up on the left side there, firefighter's prayer, which is very common for firefighters, and so we're putting up that as a mural. And there'll be a couple other murals once we're done, but that's just to give a little taste of it. So this is the lieutenant's office here, and also the bunk room where we'll be sleeping. They're at the front of the station. I call it the gatekeeper. They're first to greet everybody that comes in the door, and also, to be there and, in case something happens at the front door where most of our visitors will come. Next. Training room, that's where a lot of training will get done, classes, whether it's, a lot of it's just the 362 station personnel, but also allow us to be able to have our both stations get together over there, or also have the capability to do Zoom meetings. Weight room, that's a huge thing now, especially when they built, for example, 361, you go downstairs, you get about 2 people in the weight room. Back in 2004, health and wellness was not as big of a concern. So we really put a lot of effort into this, making this a larger facility to be able to fit 10 people to work out. As you know, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, we do have a workout program we do, and then yoga on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So this will be another opportunity. We switch every other month back between the stations, so this will be a good area for us to be able to do that. This is showing a bathroom, so just like every other bathroom, this is a ADA compliant one, so I don't think I need to get into specifics there. But the day room, this is where the firefighters get to relax, watch movies, sports, and just to unwind after the calls and at night after hours. So this is probably the most important in any building. This is called the table. The table is where we gather and we fix all the world's problems. As you know, there's a lot of problems in the world, so we try. But this is a very important area for firefighters to gather, eat together. They do this a lot of breakfast, lunch, dinner. Families come in after hours to spend Thanksgiving. So this is a very important area. So we put a lot of effort into this kitchen to make sure. The current kitchen, you probably fit 4 people comfortably in that kitchen, and the current 362, like I said before, that was meant for a town hall building with a meeting room for the volunteer firefighters back in the 80s. So it didn't really accommodate for us to have a kitchen to fit everybody, and this will allow them to be comfortable, but also when we have our big get-together with family, because we're really trying to bring families together, and we want that for that. We do miss out on a lot of holidays when we're working 24 hours, so this will allow them to have their families over and be able to fit and to really enjoy it. And just another angle of the kitchen. So bunk rooms, so this is another area that we really concentrate on. We went to the station design conference, Silas and I, and we put a lot of effort into a lot of this to make sure that it's being done right. And not only thinking about today, but for example, 361 20 years ago was a lot different. Now I'm wishing that we had more space, we had different things. So we really put a lot of effort into 20 years from now. So the next fire chief, or it could be me here 20 years from now, I guess, won't look back and say, I hate that guy. So we're trying to make sure we looked at everything. So, putting comfortable beds, putting in a window, we're putting in a ceiling fan, which if you've never slept in when it's really humid, you don't know what it's like. So having ceiling fans you can control. A little desk area, that's going to be something that's going to be very, good for them to do after hours, whether it's, college work, whether it's, internal classes, they'll have the ability to do that. And of course, there are lockers for each unit, because unit 1, 2, and 3 has one member sleep in each bunk room. So just a shower room that'll be in the back area. There'll be 3 of these for the firefighters to use, wake up, get ready in the morning, or shower after, responses and days. Next. This is the hallway. Looking off to the left, there's an ice machine that is not only where we get our ice for, just, if you want ice for your, glass of water, but also for the trucks where we put bottled water on our trucks to make sure that, when we have calls on the hot days, we have cold water. To the right is the watch room. That's where the computers are. Go next slide. So this is where they'll be able to go in to do work that they need to do their reports. It also opens up to the bay. So during the hot weather, we like to leave the doors open, and sometimes we'll get people that'll walk in, and that'll allow them to see that and go out, whether it's they want to see a truck or see the station or just have a question. So and this is the bay that'll have 4 bays. Right now, 362 has 3. We have everything, there's pretty much back to back in the old station, and we have to keep our backup engine and our boat up in the barn right now, which doesn't make it great for having to check them out once a week like we like to. So this will allow us to have all our vehicles in one area to do our weekly checks on them and to make sure that they're ready to respond. The firefighters don't have to run up the hill and hook up a truck to the trailer and take the boat out. So they'll be right there in the bay. So also across the side there, you see the windows up top. Those are some of our, that is the mezzanine. We created a mezzanine after going to our station conference. The biggest thing they talked about was preparing for the future. So if you go to 361 right now, we're at 22 years with that station. There's no room to grow. There's no room to do anything. This here will give us an area where if we need to put offices, more bunk rooms, whatever it may be, it gives us room to grow into in the future. So that was something we really concentrated and hit hard with this station. Next slide. This is the decon room. This is where, after we come back from calls, this is looking at it right now to the right. That's the dirty side where the gear will go into the extractors, which is basically oversized commercial washer. And then on the left is where the clean side, where they go to dry, to make sure we protect them as much as we can from the cancer. Next slide. And that's the overall overhead layout of the station. Like I said, we sat long and spent a lot of hours going through this, looking at different things and trying to come up with, what the best layout is. The biggest thing for us is making sure that the firefighters have direct access from anywhere they're in the station to the bay to make sure their response time is as quick as possible. So during a medical call, we're supposed to be out of the station within 60 seconds. For a fire call, we're supposed to be out in 80 seconds. So having this quick access right out from whether it's the bunk rooms, the eating and day room, and also the weight room and the training room, it's pretty much a clear access to get out. So that was important to us in this design. Is that it for the slides?
Yes.
Okay. One thing I wanted to also address too was that this has been, well, I could go back to, I think it was late 90s where they were trying to build this. We've done 4 renovations on 362. It's just the point we weren't able to renovate anymore. So this has been going on since I've been here, 5 years in April. We've been trying to figure out how to get this done. So we do thank you for the support that the board and the people in here, including Silas and everybody, have given us to help make this come true. Firefighters are really excited for this. I did want to emphasize, though, that when we did this and project this is in our current budget realm. And pretty soon we know that a levy is going to be coming out. That has nothing to do with the station. That is because we're going from a 2-year to a 5-year, and we're trying to make sure that in 5 years with inflation, with things coming up, that we don't put ourselves in a bad position. So that 2 replacement, basically additional. So the old 2 goes away, and we're putting another 2 additional on there but there's no replacement anymore, so it's a new one, which will capture the newest. That's the reason why we did that. It had nothing to do with this building. This has been in process for long, and we've been budgeting for it, knowing this was coming. But the levy is going to just help us get through the 5 years, and which will be good, because in 5 years from now, we will be able to know what it costs to operate this and be in this for 2.5 years, and 361, after we do some renovations, after 20 years of that being, we'll be in a good spot to decide the way forward with the levy. So, any questions for me?
I have one.
Yes.
And this might be a question for Silas, but can you provide a high-level overview of conversations that we've had with the county engineer about how you'll be able to access or exit the bay onto Orange?
Yeah, so I can tell you a little bit about, we're going to have a light that's going to be down there in Orange that will basically be to the east of the access, the ramp to get up into the station. So when we get a call, that will turn red. The light at the corner that's there on Old State right now will turn green, allowing all the traffic to flow, get out of our way to allow us access onto Orange and also onto Old State. So we're working with the county engineers. Now, as far as the engineer part, when they talk engineer stuff, that's way over my head, and I get really bored and fall asleep. But I will turn it over to Silas, because he speaks their language. So.
Yeah, that's very accurate. That process will start in early '27. Talks with the county engineers pretty much lead us to believe it'll be a pretty quick and seamless process, since we already own the property, the right of way, and it's our road. It'll be, as Chief said, a little bit to the east, closer to Cross Creek, and should be a pretty simple process. It's very prevalent throughout the county, and so we'll kind of be just repeating the process that others have already created for us. And then I'll add one additional thing that it's still in process, but as far as the timeline that was laid out over a year ago, this doesn't happen very often, so I don't want to curse it for anybody who's done capital improvement projects before. They don't usually stay on schedule or on budget. So far, we have done both, and it's not credit to Chief or I individually. You can give Chief credit if you'd like to. But we are looking at a early first week of April-ish groundbreaking to begin site work with utilities and all that stuff too. So barring any big surprises, we're just around the corner from seeing some real progress.
Can you also talk about the parking with the change in the layout with access to the Veterans Memorial?
Absolutely. So with the Veterans Memorial, when that was constructed, there was obviously some hope that the fire station would be soon to follow, in the coming years, which, here we are. So the design with the Veterans Memorial was kind of minimal, just hoping that we had enough to get by for the short term. The new layout used to be the one picture before that, Eric. At least I hope so. Maybe not. To your bottom left here is the expansion of the existing Veterans Memorial parking lot that's currently a milled asphalt surface, a lot of stone, a lot of rock. Just there, it drains, it functions for what we had for the last 2 years with the Vets Memorial. This will be a solid surface with bollard lighting. It'll continue the sidewalk and the bollard lights that continue into the Veterans Memorial to kind of tie these two facilities together with respect to each other. There is some delineation on the west side of the fire station itself to try to not muddy the waters if you're visiting the Veterans Memorial and have a broad, wide open view of the fire station next to you when you're going to the Veterans Memorial. So there's some connection in the front of the building, or from the front of the sidewalk and the parking lot, but as you work to the back of the Veterans Memorial, there's a little more distinction between the two facilities. Kind of following that conversation, there's also a connection with the Public Works facility in the back, as well as the fuel stations in the back as well, so that both parks, Public Works and Fire can continue to use all kind of the public safety facility that's up there right now. So a lot of working pieces that kind of went into this design to make everything work together. So it's a fun challenge to see it kind of, all the Legos fit together.
And with construction happening here in the next 6 weeks or so, starting, how will we be able to access the Veterans Memorial, say if we want to go to that during construction?
It's a great question. What we're thinking right now, that a lot of that will get sorted out during the pre-construction meeting of how we're going to do this. Our anticipation is the existing Veterans Memorial parking lot will likely be a staging area. There's a lot of elevation changes that are going to happen going from the existing memorial to the east of there to make the drainage and the site work. There's a good potential that we'll have to use the existing public parking lot at the fire station 362 up the hill. But that may be fluid throughout the 16 plus months of construction as things get completed down there. We'd like to keep that open as long as we can, but mixing heavy equipment and moving dirt and people visiting memorial might be intermittently challenging depending on the week of what's going on in the construction schedule.
And will we have some sort of notification somewhere, like, hey, if you want to go to Veterans Memorial, you should park at the fire station? So we don't want guests of the Veterans Memorial to come into our construction site from a safety perspective.
Yeah, our anticipation is to add some signage, just
Okay.
communication to make that easy for folks, and hope to try to avoid any confusion there. But there'll be some logistical challenges for the next 16, 18 months with the
Construction
build.
does do that.
Yes.
Sorry.
Are there any other signs planned for this, any other signage? Do we have any other signage planned? It just occurred to me that we should put like some kind of sign that says Orange Township Fire Station, because nowhere on there does it, there's a little logo, but
On the
no.
seal. right?
Yeah,
That's
so
all.
Yeah,
the
that's
seal
fine, you
says,
can't see
the
that.
seal's gonna be a good size, so you'll be able to see Orange Township. But
But not
as far
from
as
the road.
the road,
Yeah.
it's hard to see from here. There's not much area in front, so to put a sign in front of the station, there's not that much of an area to put anything there.
But, because it should identify, like, for people that don't live here, or like, what is it? It just says, could we put it maybe, or Station 362, maybe just have it in letters, say Orange Township? It should say somewhere what, which
Yeah,
station
this
it
sign,
is.
well, I think this sign will help a lot. The one, I know it's hard to see the size of it, it's gonna be pretty large, and in the white part, it does say Orange Township.
Yeah, but you won't be able to see that from
And-
the road.
No, and I mean, right now, our sign,
Maybe it could go under Orange Township Station 362, because the 362 is not as important as, Orange Township. It's like going to a fast food restaurant and there's no identifying, it just says restaurant, I think we need to have the letters on there somewhere, or some sign that says Orange Township.
This might be a related point, but I think we've had separate conversations about potentially putting an electronic messaging sign somewhere near the old township hall. And maybe
Yes.
with that branding, we can make it more clear that this is an Orange Township station with that
Yeah.
sign.
We had talked
It
about-
should be
Right next to the
identified,
road.
because people driving by, they don't live here. I would say a lot of people don't even know they live in Orange Township.
when we had talked about doing the sign up in front of the building, but with everything that came with having to put a retention pond and all that stuff, it really did shrink our area a little bit, so we had to push everything up, which prevented from really a sign going in the front. So there was discussion amongst, I think, the board, possibly looking at closer to Old Township
More
Hall,
at the
somewhere in the corner. Because right here in the front, if you put it in the front, you won't see it from Old State anyways. You won't see the sign, you only see it on Orange. So if you're driving on Orange, you're gonna see that logo there. It's gonna be big enough to see from Orange. So
I think it should somewhere, maybe even over the brick here on the side. I think it should say Orange Township somewhere, because it needs to identify, what it is. It's like if this Township Hall just said Township Hall, with the tiny logo. Because I think that's actually missing from Station 1 possibly as well, and someone had pointed that out a few months ago, and I forgot to mention. I don't know if it actually, because we should be prideful that this is our, you're in Orange Township, and this is our awesome and beautiful fire station.
And Trustee Knapp, I think you make a good point on that. I think there is, to Trustee Ringel's point, I think we've heard that comment at least once about all the buildings on that site, how there's not really like a defined, like, hey, what's this
Yeah.
for, what's that? The potential for that potential marquee sign that might identify everything on that site. Old Township Hall's unidentified in a sense. The fire station could use obviously a little more, to your point. The Veterans Memorial is not a real obvious from the street view of who owns that, the Public Works facility. So there may be an opportunity with that sign that Trustee Ringel referenced to maybe tie all these together. I think it's a good point.
Before it opens, or,
And that would be something we could budget for in '27, because construction will be happening through '27.
Yeah,
Correct.
fortunately signage, that's something we can always add or.
Yeah.
yeah, you just want to make sure if we're to put it on the wall or or there needs to be a special area, we want to do that make sure we have provisions during construction. Unless we're just adding it later.
I can look into it.
Yeah. Okay, any other fire station questions?
Not at the moment.
I mean, I'm excited for the project, obviously. You guys have put a ton of effort into it. I know that back when we were deciding whether we were doing this, we were reminded that there was a report that came out in like 2006 that said the current Station 2 was not really habitable for the 24/7 use that it is used for. So this will finally get the fire station in this part of the community that is what it's supposed to be. So we're excited for that. Okay, I think we're good on fire station. Thanks.
Thank you, Board.
Thanks, Chief. Okay, do we have any questions on the consent agenda? It is quite long today, and I know a lot of this will be discussed during the operations report, so we'll get into detail later on in the meeting.
And I don't have any agenda changes too, so.
I have none.
I do not.
Okay? Okay. I need to write down what I'm supposed to say here. Ringo, what do I say?
You got this.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I make a motion to
on the
approve the
day-
consent agenda for the regular meeting held on February 18th, 2026, including Resolution 26-051, approving the electronic record of the proceedings from the regular trustee meeting and zoning hearing, RCOD 13-03, Parkway Plaza Amendment, held on February 3rd, 2026, and Resolution 26-052, approving purchase orders, then and now purchase orders, and blanket purchase orders as listed.
Second?
Robbie, I'm sorry, can you confirm that's the application number
Yeah,
13?
that seems strange. Do we mean 23?
2303.
Okay, so
23,
zoning
okay.
hearing RCOD 2303.
Okay, sorry.
That seems, yeah.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Ringo?
Yes.
Trustee Knapp? Yes. Trustee Faust?
Yes. Okay, Robin, our development and zoning report.
Good afternoon, trustees. I will run us through the zoning hearings and meetings report. I do have one resolution for your consideration as well. We do have a Board of Zoning Appeals meeting scheduled for tomorrow, February 19th at 6 p.m. here in this room. Two agenda items on that evening's agenda. Both are residential setback variances. The first for outdoor pavilion and fireplace to encroach into a rear yard setback on Arctic Avenue, and the second for an egress window to encroach into the side setback on Orange Lake Drive. Do have a zoning commission update for you. So we have the proposed Hidden Oaks rezoning on South Old State. That had been tabled for several months previously. The applicant has submitted a new plan and has requested to take that off the table. So the zoning commission will hold their hearing for that application on Tuesday, March 10th at 6:30 p.m. That is a proposed 21 lot single family plain residential district.
And that was Hidden Oaks, is that what you said?
Correct.
Okay. And so you said 21 lots, and before it was,
24 lots, I believe.
Okay.
The layout changed a little, some lots were dropped, new configuration.
okay, thanks.
And the only other item on the report is the still tabled Bandata Parktown mixed-use project on North Road. I do not have any updates on that one at this time.
Thank you. Operations, Silas. Oh, just kidding, I should say some resolutions. Okay. I make a motion to approve Resolution 26-053, a resolution appointing members of the Board of Directors of the Orange Township Joint Economic Development District.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Ringo?
Yes.
Trustee Knapp?
Yes.
Trustee Faust?
Yes. Sorry. Now, Silas.
Everybody's excited about operations, I know.
Super excited.
All right, so y'all, here we go. Let's settle in. All right, so first thing is choice one agreement. This is for a continuing the engineering for East Orange Road wall replacement down there adjacent to the church. I forget the name of it, but
Orange
Orange
Friends.
Friends.
Orange Friends, thank you. This is to work with Choice One to get some of this engineering underway for this. Still kind of trying to find the best route on that. So recommending that work to begin. Next, we have an agreement with Hook and Ladder. This is a new vendor for the township. This is to provide, to kind of move our ice cream operations, for the most part, novelty ice cream items out of the concession stand into vending machines to increase our oversight and simplify that operation a little bit, as well as providing more options for our users of the pool. Excited to see that come to fruition, see where that goes. We are working on still having some ice cream in the concession stand too. It'll be a little different from the novelty things that we've used in the past. The next thing you'll see is an agreement with Beck Fuel Systems. This is a previously approved, budgeted project for 2026 that will add to our existing fuel setup at current Station 362 to add unleaded fuel for use by fire, parks, and public works on that site. You remember this has kind of been a multi-year addition between software and eventually adding the additional tanks so we can kind of consolidate our fuel use a little bit. That is if you recall from the budget discussions, that is a shared cost between general and fire, with general carrying a little more because of the anticipated use by parks and public works. The next thing you'll see is an agreement with Verdantis. This would be a continuation of the engineering and process for the trail behind Orange Middle and Orange High Schools, from Walker Woods to the middle school. This agreement only entails, encumbers the easements and getting the location settled for that. This does not include any bidding, CA work, anything like that. If you recall our discussions at the board's direction, where this project is very contingent on Safe Routes to School funding, that applications due very soon. Behind the scenes, Phil Miller and myself been working on that, so that'll be coming to fruition soon. These easements will be necessary to apply for the grant and kind of keep the conversation going with the HOA and the schools. So that is only a portion of the full scope that still remains on that. After that, you'll see an agreement we're recommending for Concrete One Construction. This is a small piece of the parking lot resurfacing that we're looking to do out here. This will move, expand, and repair our existing dumpster situation at this site here, to move it to the west side of the building, add recycling dumpsters that don't currently exist here, and add a little better flow for the bike trail intersection on the east side of the building. That will have a second part to it later this spring. You'll see a future agreement for the asphalt work for resurfacing just the western part of the parking lot, as previously approved in the budget. Next is baseline telematics agreement. This has been discussed for a while. This is what we've always referred to as CityCare. This is a software that we're going to use to kind of logistically and practically use this data to streamline our efficiency for our parks and public works departments, with all the scope of things that are under their umbrella, from roads to plowing to everything underneath the sun. The final thing is a property appropriation for Bale Canyon Phase 3. This is the last parcel in that stream to need acquired. So you'll see the appropriation for that as well. That was prepared by the prosecutor's office.
Okay, that was a lot. Do we have any questions on anything?
What's the status of utility easement relocation on Bale Canyon Phase 3?
Once the appropriation is addressed, checks are filed, all the right-of-ways will be accessible at that point. We will begin the tree clearing process here before the end of March, due to the Indiana habitat window, everybody's favorite. And then the rest of 2026 will be open for the utility relocation window, with construction anticipated in 2027, pending funding discussions with county engineers and grant funding with OPWC, which we're very optimistic about.
I have a question about the vending contract. So can you explain that again? What's the purpose of that?
This is to broaden what we're currently offering from the concession stand, but also take the oversight of that out of the concession stand to free up that space and put those into vending machines that'll function independently of the actual concession stand.
They're refrigerated vending machines.
Frozen, yes.
Frozen.
Yes, sir. So there'll be, right now we offer anywhere from 2 to 4, maybe 5 novelty ice cream things, which are pretty good sellers. The vending machines will allow us to offer up to 20 different varieties, as well as offering Dippin' Dots as well.
Is this going to take away from any of the items that are offered at the concession stand
It'll
currently?
increase them.
Like what, in what way? Which one?
We're going to go from 2 to 4 items to
No,
about
only
20
in-
different
You
ones.
said increase or decrease?
Increase
So we're still selling the same things at the concession stand?
in 4 to 5 times more than what we're selling. Inside a concession stand, there's some other conversations behind the scenes, but this will take all the novelty ice cream items out of the concession stand, increase them probably 5 times what we're currently doing, offer more variety, more selection, and more convenience for the pool users.
So there's no ice cream being sold at the concession stand, only in the vending machines?
I don't want to commit to saying yes to that right now, because I'm working on some other things locally that we may still have different ice cream that we have not currently had in the past that may go on sale inside the concession stand, but this is kind of step one of a multi-step process, I think.
And did we put this out to bid to get different
There's
vendors?
kind of a sole source for this right now. There's very few pools doing this right now. There's 2 or 3 in Central Ohio. They were referred to us by another pool doing this, and they were very happy with the service. Exported a little bit, seems like a good fit for the township, which is why I'm recommending it.
So if I was a novelty ice cream, what would I be? Like the chocolate crunch bar, the strawberry crunch bar? Like what did we sell the last couple years? I don't know. Novelty.
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob. Oh, yeah.
SpongeBob
He's
is
a big,
yeah,
he's a big winner.
Hit that one right on the head.
Okay.
If SpongeBob's available, SpongeBob is a very popular item here. This is the first time I ever thought I'd mention SpongeBob at a board meeting here, but
Oh, that's always been a favorite.
Yeah,
any
yeah.
novelty things from Push Pop, Spider-Man stuff, SpongeBob, any of these cartoony things.
Okay.
There
So it's
are
like pre-packaged.
exact same thing. Ice cream
Okay.
sandwiches, chocolate chip cookie things, all those fudge pop, any number of things you can go find at the grocery store, prepackaged, ready to sell, out of a vending machine, not waiting in line.
So it's an independent, but it's an independent company doing it like, so anyone can just come in and say, hey, I want to put my vending machine in the pool. I mean, you know, any person. It's a private company, is that right?
Correct, yes. So it's similar to our Pepsi agreement.
But
Because
that's a
Pepsi has more
township.
competition than these folks do. They have, I guess, 2 other major competitors. These folks don't seem to have many just yet, so it's a 1-year agreement, so we're gonna, my
So if it doesn't
recommendation.
work out, we can.
Yeah.
Can we get a price comparison of, I mean, of like what they're going to be selling it for and what we're currently selling it for? Is there going to be a difference? I just
To
feel
the
a little
general
bit.
public, no, there will
I
not
just
be a
feel a little
difference.
uncomfortable having like a private company come in and start kind of making money off of the residents. Like, I
The
I
price
mean,
points will be the same, they'll remain the same as they have the last few years. The novelty ice creams that we've been trying to work with in the past, sometimes they're available, sometimes they're not. Again, SpongeBob is a great example. SpongeBob can be available for a few days and he can be gone for a month. This will provide more options and leave that open for people to have that convenience. I don't.
can we find the prices? Because usually from a vending machine, that vastly, just due to the cost of the machine and the refrigeration and all that, it can sometimes vastly increase the price of an item that's available. So
Yeah.
I would want a price comparison.
We
Can
have
they give
talked
us-
about that with the vendor, the anticipation based on their price point for how the logistics will work out financially will be the same to our residents. The difference will be us not hosting it in the concession stand and having a potential loss due to a broken freeze or anything like that, and taking the oversight off of our concessions vendors and putting it all into a machine, which will allow for better oversight and better inventory control.
Can we get like a breakdown of how much we're currently making though per item and how that will be different? We get 20% of this, like how much do we buy like a SpongeBob for and how much do we sell it?
It varies. Again, due to inventory control, we struggle a lot to quantify some of those because of our lack of full-time staff that the township has in the concession stand. So there's a lot of areas for improvement, maybe is a great way of putting it, with our oversight and our quality control and our inventory control that would allow us to better quantify what those numbers will be by switching to a vending
I would rather
service
have a
list.
list of like what we're selling things for and how much we're making in the market before I pawn that off on somebody else. I
It
mean, 'cause
varies.
we do need to make money from the concession stand to support a pool.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't know if it's making money, but I think we were just trying to provide more of a variety of items.
But this will provide, this means all of the ice cream will be sold, all of it, by the vending machine. We won't be selling any more ice, and that's a big seller. And we still, you know, our concession stand is profitable. So right now, we'll be taking all the profit, but 20%, right? We'll get 20% back, is that correct?
Correct, with a lot less cost on our end too. Again, I think, I'll stress the inventory control is a big concern. And I think this will clean that up quite a bit for us too, and allow some more opportunities inside the concession stand that wouldn't have been taken by some of the ice cream, and to Michelle's
But
point.
can we get, I'm not comfortable approving this today until I see like the numbers on how many we sold and what we sold them for and what we paid, because we do sell a lot. I mean, then we might as well just get a vending machine and with chips in it, and then a vending machine with hot dogs. I mean, at some point,
It's a possibility that we would expand this if it proves to be productive. I wouldn't be opposed to considering chips, candy bars, different things that may make it easier to, again, take some of that off of the CPM staff, our pool staff, and add and utilize the concession space for something else that may be more profitable for concessions.
but we don't know if it's profitable because we don't have any of the numbers. Like how many ice creams did we
I
sell
think I know
last
what you're
year?
saying. Yeah, I mean, we can probably provide a comparison to like the cost of the product, but it's hard to factor in the
Yeah,
staff
it is,
time
but
and
I
then
think
the
we double,
inventory.
or we double, and sometimes we triple on
So.
certain things. So if we're getting two-thirds, if we're having a 3 times or double markup, that's a lot less than, that's a lot more than giving them 20%. So I would like to get the numbers on what there needs to be a good reason that's quantifiable as to why we're doing this. Because basically you're bringing a private company in who, I just want to see the numbers, like how many did we sell of the SpongeBob's or the whatever they are, and how much money did we make on it and things like that, and then we can figure out the labor.
The way it's quantified, again, without township staff working at the pool, we have a lot of that through our contractual provider that runs the pool for us. The breakdown will not identify SpongeBob versus Spider-Man. It'll say premium ice cream sold, and we have obviously a loss category as well for when the freezer breaks or something melts or whatever happens. So the data that we have may not answer your question because it's not tracked that way, because everything is sold for the same price point.
Can we find out like how much we paid for all the items, how many there were, and then how much we made on the items?
Yeah, we have those numbers, and from a financial aspect, this would potentially bring in an amount a little bit less than that. But again, I do think it opens up some doors inside the concession stand for us to make that up in other ways, as well as expanding the offerings to the people using the pool that we currently
And then
can't do.
I would want to see the prices that they'll be charging in the machine as well, because like a lot of times, you can buy something at the concession stand for $1.50 or $2, but if you buy it from a vending machine, it's $3.
Yeah, as
I just
mentioned
need to make
earlier,
sure this makes sense for the residents and in terms of us making money at the pool to help support it, because it is very expensive. How much money do we make every year from the concession stand total?
Obviously, everything at the pool is weather dependent. Some years are better than others. Last year was not as good as others.
Can we get more information about that? And then also just, we might want, if we do this, we might want to like put, like with the Pepsi agreement, we put that out to bid and we had different vendors say, we're going to offer this, and we're going to give the township this, and we're going to do this. And so we had different things to look at. This is just kind of picking one vendor and not opening it up for others. It sets a precedent.
Yeah, I'm gonna be able to find another vendor that does this. There's some that will
Right.
sell you the machine and let you do it yourself, but I didn't know if that was an investment the township wanted to consider, because again, it requires staff time, inventory management, additional freezers to store product, things like that. So this, my recommendation was to kind of look at this for a year, see where it went, and reevaluate it there. I'm happy to get
I'd like to
additional
hold
numbers if
off
you'd like them.
on the information. We
Is
need
it,
the
are we able
numbers.
to like make this decision in 2 weeks at our next meeting?
Yeah, I mean, we can provide, again, the data isn't gonna be,
But we
answer all
could,
the
we could
questions.
know,
so
we purchased 750
Yeah.
units of premium ice
how
cream.
much
We
money we
sold 650, we lost 150.
Yeah,
This is what we.
right.
Our
Yeah.
expense-
You can't make a
that's all.
decision like
I don't
this
think
when
we
you
need
have
to-
no data. I mean, I
And I think
can't.
Silas has probably looked into that, that's why we're pursuing it.
Well,
but-
he
yeah,
doesn't
so
have
that
any
we can-
answers, so
yeah,
I'm not
so we
sure
can-
about
I have
that.
totals. Unfortunately, I don't have a breakdown with regards to premium ice cream. We had a
Versus hot
revenue.
dogs or-
Yes,
yeah.
yeah. The total revenue concessions was $65,477.11.
For this past year.
Yeah, expenses for concession supplies came in at $45,033.43.
But that's all the things.
That is
Everything.
correct,
Okay.
yes, yes. that
And
But
then can we
Silas,
get the
I mean, we send
yeah.
checks for, I know that I bought 750 apples, whatever, we
Yeah,
didn't buy apples.
we have
but, like, I
those,
feel like
yeah.
we've got those
We have
numbers
those
somewhere.
details, yeah, like
It's
gold
just,
medal or
yeah,
whatever.
ice cream's
it
not
was.
broken down like
Yeah.
some other things are, because again, it's it's, sometimes things aren't available, so it's all
Right.
labeled under one thing, but we
Right.
can, yeah, those
But we can,
reports.
yeah,
I
we can
think
provide this, the,
Premium ice cream to premium ice cream, I think is what we're.
Yeah, and then how
Yeah.
much,
Care
how
about
much,
hot dogs.
what the prices would be, what they're charging, what they charged last year for the premium versus the regular ice cream.
They're all the same.
How much is
It's
it?
just like ice cream.
Yeah, I'll get the data for you if you want
Yeah.
to, you can review.
How
all
much
the
do we
spreadsheets.
sell the ice cream for now, do you know?
$3, I believe.
Is it 3?
Yeah, I know, I don't remember.
I forget, I bought
I'll
one.
get you the exact printout, so
Okay.
I'm not trying to sit here and make up numbers of
yeah, we
ice
just
cream
don't have
prices
that
from 7 months
information
ago.
today.
Okay, yeah, and that's why we have meetings and conversations, so thank you for that, appreciate that. Okay, any other questions on operation stuff? Okay,
Good.
all right, I make a motion to approve resolution 26-054, approving Director of Operations to enter into a cooperative project agreement between Choice One Engineering and Orange Township for East Orange Road wall replacement and authorizing the issuance of purchase orders totaling in the amount of $20,600.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Ringo,
Yes.
trustee Knapp,
Yes?
trustee Faust.
Yes.
So
We're gonna
we'll be
pause
at-
on this next one.
Yeah, but if we can
So we just
change
change the numbers?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see how good I do that. Okay, I make a motion to approve Resolution 26-055, approving and authorizing the Director of Operations to enter into an agreement with Beck Fuel Systems for installation of cylindrical 1,000-gallon, 2-compartment, 500-gallon gas tank and authorizing the issuance of purchase orders totaling in the amount of $45,305.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Ringo,
Yes.
trustee Knapp,
Yes.
trustee Faust.
Yes. I make a motion to approve Resolution 26-056, approving and authorizing the Director of Operations to enter into an agreement with Verdantis LLC for Walkerwood Boulevard to Olentangy Orange Middle School Trail Project and authorizing the issuance of purchase orders totaling in the amount of $9,650.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Ringo,
Yes.
trustee Knapp,
Yes?
trustee Faust.
Yes, I make a motion to approve Resolution 26-057, approving and authorizing the Director of Operations to enter into an agreement with Concrete One Construction for construction of new relocated dumpster pad at Orange Township parking area and authorizing the issuance of purchase orders totaling in the amount of $13,825.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Ringo,
Yes.
trustee Knapp,
Yes?
trustee Faust.
Yes, I make a motion to approve Resolution 26-058, approving and authorizing the Director of Operations to enter into an agreement with Baseline Telematics Corporation for City Care software and authorizing the issuance of purchase orders totaling an amount of $18,065.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Ringo,
Yes.
trustee Knapp,
Yes.
trustee Faust.
Yes, I make a motion to approve Resolution 26-059 in the matter of adopting a resolution declaring the necessity and the intent of the Board of Trustees of Orange Township, Delaware County, Ohio, to appropriate property.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Ringo,
Yes.
trustee Knapp,
Yes.
trustee Faust.
Yes. Okay. I think that is all operation-wise. Nothing else for fire, right, Chief? Nope. Okay. Fiscal, Donna?
Okay, first item this afternoon on our, the fiscal agenda would be the bank reconciliations for the months of December 2025 and January of 2026. Just a real quick recap of what 2025 looked like. We ended the year at $31,538,380. Our revenue received was $25,330,992, with total expenses coming in at $24,116,257, and we had $2,574,362 of outstanding encumbrances that were rolled over into 2026. With that being said, January, very different. We brought in $282,997. Our expenses totaled $390, and outstanding encumbrances totaled $9,258,007. And I have, I believe everybody has reviewed and signed both of those bank reconciliations. We have two consensus with regards to liquor license. The first one is for Skybox Sports, and that is going to be located at, excuse me,
It's on Pal, right? Like in the Oak Tree?
it is 1317 Cameron Avenue. So that is a D5 permit class. And then the second item is not quite as descriptive. They have, let's see, they are requesting, it is KDLC Ohio LLC, and that is on Pullman Drive, 6477, and it is the same permit at D5. So I would need a consensus for both of those liquor license. And then we need to approve appropriations with regards to the Veterans Memorial Fund. When the budget was presented for 2026, we did not present appropriations for the Veterans Memorial Fund, so I am asking that we amend those with regards to repairs and maintenance, 10,000, operating supplies, 10,000 for a total for 2026 to be appropriated $20,000. And that is all I have this afternoon for the fiscal report. If you have any questions.
You guys have any questions?
I do not.
I have none.
Okay. We'll do this one first. I make a motion to approve Resolution 26-060, review of the December 2025 and January 2026 bank reconciliation and financial reports.
Second?
Is your turn? Go ahead.
Who was that? I'm sorry.
It was Mike.
Mike, okay.
Mike gets it? Okay.
We need Erica to help us.
Roll call. Trustee Ringle?
Yes.
Trustee Knapp?
Yes.
Trustee Faust?
Yes, okay. Do we have, typically we do not hold hearings for liquor license. Are we good with that still?
Don't think we need a hearing.
Yeah, we
For
don't
either.
hear it.
To
For both of
not-
them?
Okay, consensus to not hold a hearing for both. Do I need to read that out?
Nope, we have a consensus.
Okay. All right, I make a motion to approve Resolution 26-061, revising and/or increasing permanent appropriations established in Resolution 25-305.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Ringle?
Yes.
Trustee Knapp?
Yes.
Trustee Faust?
Yes. Okay,
And thank you, trustees.
thank you. Michelle?
All right, I just have two items under administration report. The first, I would like to ask the board to appoint an acting administrator for my absence in March. I will be gone March 4th to March 15th, and I would like to appoint Robin Duffy as the acting administrator this time.
Do you accept?
Regretfully.
I think my approach, and I'm fortunate that you guys let me do this, but I think it's, maybe not everybody feels this way, but I think it's good that everybody can kind of
Oh,
have
yeah,
an
it's great.
experience of understanding the
fantastic.
things that I do. So I'm happy we can continue doing that. And then the second thing under my report is a letter of support. We talked about this at our zoning hearing regarding 79 Parkway Drive. This is a letter that will be addressed to the Delaware County Engineer's Office, supporting the closure of a portion of Parkway Drive. If you recall, we tried to file a petition for this to vacate a portion of the road to the county commissioners, and unfortunately, we were denied. However, we do have an opportunity to try to address this during the plating process. So this is I have a letter for you guys to sign, and then I'll also include the resolution that's in the template, this exhibit that you see, and then the petitions from the residents, so we can show that not only do we have this support, but the neighborhood does as well.
Yeah, thank you for putting this together. I know this is a big ask from the community, so we're glad we can support them.
That's all I have.
Okay. Any questions on Michelle's stuff?
I do not.
Okay. I make a motion to approve Resolution 26-062, appointment of Robin Duffy to Acting Township Administrator from March 4th, 2026 to March 15th, 2026, and establishment of compensation.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Ringle?
Yes.
Trustee Knapp?
Yes.
Trustee Faust?
Yes. I make a motion to approve Resolution 26-063, a resolution expressing support for the closure of a portion of Parkway Drive to vehicular traffic.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Ringle?
Yes.
Trustee Knapp?
Yes.
Trustee Faust?
Yes. Okay, new business.
I can handle that one.
old business first,
Oh, just kidding.
Oh. Well,
unless you'd like to.
Oh, sorry,
Come back
they're
to
in
it.
different orders on the agenda and the template.
we can, we could do either one first. Sorry about that.
Okay, let's hit old business then.
Okay.
Matches
So, yeah, because we don't have any action items for that at this
Yeah.
time, but the board requested at the last meeting to provide more information on pool passes, and this is in regards to whether or not we want to have a non-resident pool pass fee or membership. We kind of started addressing that with that guest of resident fee that we now have. However, that is, you can only go in with a resident. So we do have a comparison. I think that might be available on. Yeah, I thought I pulled it up. It should be like a spreadsheet. If you go back to this folder, I don't know if it's necessary. Yeah, pool rates. Okay. So this is what we were able to pull. There are, and Silas is obviously the one that was able to compile this research. But this is a few municipalities. We don't have any townships that do this to our knowledge in the area, but these cities do offer these fees, and these are all for non-resident pool passes. Is that correct, Silas?
Yes, the ones we were able to find, with the exception of, there's a JRD on the east side of town that has it's a school district type of setup with a JRD.
Okay.
They also had one, but it wasn't really practical for what we were talking about.
Yeah, but we were able to, Delaware, Westerville, they're not far away from us, so we were able to see that.
I appreciate that Westerville essentially doubled their non-resident fee. I think that would allow for some additional traffic at the pool that would help keep the pool more profitable, presumably without overloading the number of residents who would, access the pool on any given day, or the attendance.
For me, it's such a subjective thing because you just never know with weather. Like it could be a super hot, sunny year all year, and back when I was taking my kids to the pool regularly there, and it was warm, and you go and it's almost unsafe, depending on the quantity of people that were there. And I want to make sure that our residents can definitely get in, but then if everybody's paying a membership rate, it's not really fair to say, well, you live in Westerville, you can't come, or you live in Worthington. And especially with the Worthington community pool being shut down this summer, like from a financial standpoint, I think we'll get a lot of more people than in, say, last year that would, say, from Worthington come up to join, which if it's a nice cold year like last summer and they pay membership passes, that's great financially, and there were less days where there was a concern for safety. We just have a lot of residents, and the pool is really not that large, and I have residents repeatedly tell us, like, I want another pool, and I'm like, yeah, it's nice. So that's kind of, and again, it's worst case scenario.
Well, yeah, well, we, like, it must have been a decade ago when we were so overcrowded, we decided not to have any non-residents, because then we would have to open it to everyone. And so you could have someone come in with, like I said, a daycare from who knows where, come in and for $20 each, stay there from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and, you couldn't do anything. And then also another point is, it's nice to know the people at the pool are people that we know and they're residents. They're not coming from other areas, because a lot of times when you open it up to everybody, you get some people who are going to come in, pay $20 and steal things. That is a potential once you bring, like Zambezi Bay, for example. It's pretty big, but at least we know now they're residents, or they're people that, live in the area that we will know, or they're with friends of residents. I think it's become a little bit more, since then, it's a little more community-oriented versus, hey, we're just going to go over there and stay all day. Because we can't limit it. If we open it up to non-residents, then, like I said, everyone can come. So we changed that years ago because we were just so overcrowded.
And there's ownership when it's like, it's my community, it's my pool, I pay taxes for it, like, I'm gonna try
Yeah.
to keep it nice. And, you would hope that everybody would treat it that way, even whether they're a
But they-
resident or
they
not,
don't.
but I don't know.
There's not. And plus, like, the real cost of coming to the pool, I would really like to know what that is, because I think with all the taxes and the maintenance and the money that has to come from other areas, it's a lot more than $20, you know?
Oh,
I mean, I
right,
can't
yeah.
really quantify it, but we all pay taxes on that, and, you know, I would hate to subsidize non-residents, and they can always come still with
Yeah,
a
with a
resident.
resident, yeah.
Yeah,
And I know, I think this came up with a particular resident who moved out of the township, is my understanding, who brought this. And I 100% get the ask, totally get it. But like
yeah.
Lisa Kraft moved out and then she came with me to the pool, so.
oh, yeah, it would
You
be
just have
awful
to-
if you, it'd
right,
be terrible
yeah.
if you moved and then you couldn't come back with your kids and they were all friends, but you can still do that with, you know, a resident
bring a
that,
friend,
yeah. So I don't think I would support it, but it
Yeah,
was
so
good
I
to look
think-
into it.
Yeah, so I mean, here's, I think the comparison is really helpful information. You know, I think today, there's no actions prepared, but if there is a consensus to not move forward with adding a non-resident fee structure, then we'll just stop this. If there is something you want us to propose, we can look at the average of this and move forward. So I just, you know, any direction I can get, which I think I'm generally hearing, but just want to make sure that the majority are good with one direction or the other.
Yeah, and then, I mean, we have enough problems with even teenagers in our own community. I'm thinking of teenagers during the summer, just from random places, just coming in, you know? It's just, and the ownership. I do think the ownership, that was a good point.
Yeah, and what I was originally thinking and potentially proposing was not to have any non-resident have access, but to limit it geographically to, you know, if you're living within the Olentangy School District, for example, or a neighboring township, that you would be able to get a non-resident admission, so that we're not overwhelming the pool at ideally at any given day, except for maybe major holidays where it's already going to be at capacity. So this was, in my mind, an alternative form of revenue to potentially help support the pool. But I think as we maybe look at the pool operating costs and capital costs in the future, maybe it's just another topic that we can bring back up for consideration.
Yeah, and I don't know if we can we limit who's allowed to come? Or I don't know if we could say, well, you know, you're allowed to come from this neighboring township, but you can't come from Dublin. I don't know if we're allowed to do that, are we? I know we can limit it to residents. I have no idea.
I would suggest if we were picking certain jurisdictions, we probably would want to have some form of a contract with them. You know, if say Berlin Township wanted to give us X amount to provide X amount of, you know, or to have these members go at this rate, that's the only way I can see that being structured,
Yeah, but just legally, I mean, can you say, well, we only accept people from surrounding townships? You know, like either it's
Yeah.
everybody or it's just
That's why I
us,
think it
yeah.
has to be somewhat contractual in a way.
Oh, I
but-
see what you're saying. That would make it contractual. But, you know, if someone comes down from, you know, I don't know, Kent, Ohio, just for a random
Yeah.
example, and, you know, they just come down and we're like, oh, we're gonna go to the pool day. I mean, you could get people from everywhere. I don't know how you could say, you know, only residents that live in these areas, but I do think most people that live here do tend to have more of a sense of ownership because they do own the pool. You know,
Yeah,
it's their-
yeah, and
their
I
own
mean, I
pool.
don't think this conversation needs to end forever. You know, I think just given our current state, I'm hearing that we may not want to move forward looking into this more, and,
We can give guidance on other communities to build their own pool.
That'd be great.
It's a money pit, but we love it.
Any other thoughts?
Not this time.
Okay, all right, so we will, at this point, put that discussion to close.
Okay.
Yeah, it's challenging to not understand the cost of the pool, even from like a utility perspective. And, you know, like our parks guys, they take care of the playgrounds and they take care of the parks and the ball fields and the trails, but they also take care of the pool. And it's not like, okay, now I'm clocking into the pool to repair the pool versus I'm emptying dog waste stations
It's so
or
hard.
fertilizing the grass or, you know, all the many, many things that the guys do, so.
Plus the refinish surfacing of the pool and all those capital costs are just, you
Right.
know, insane.
Yeah. So it is a service that you live in the township, it just kind of comes along with benefits of living here.
Yeah.
So,
But it could also be somewhat more profitable.
I know, yeah.
$31,285.
Just, now, is that just for the pool?
Yeah,
That is separated
That
out?
was separated,
I know,
that
it's
was.
insane.
Well, excuse me, no, I take that back.
Or is that the
That was
whole-
water.
Oh,
That
just
was your
water.
water bill for last year, yeah.
So
AEP
expensive.
was 20,577. Columbia Gas was just under 9,000, with the sewer just over 9,000.
So we're like
So
70 grand just in
70,000.
utilities for the
Just
pool?
utilities,
Yep.
And that's
yeah.
just the pool, that's not like North Orange Park or any
That
of
is
that?
correct.
Wow.
It's very expensive.
Yeah. You're welcome, residents.
They love it.
Okay, new business.
Yes, so I would say new slash old. So this is in regards to an appeal for a self-storage facility. We did, if you recall, the Board of Trustees did deny this application, RCOD-23-02. The applicant then proceeded with an appeal as they believed they had their zoning rights to move forward with the application. We then proceeded with several months of litigation, and unfortunately, the court order has decided that this application can be approved and move forward. I guess as a positive note, we were able to address some additional landscaping items. I think that.
Something with a sign, too.
The
I know Lisa
signage,
had-
yes.
Did they come back with a sign that looked but nicer?
So we have not seen all the revised zoning plans, but according to our legal counsel, we are now required to move forward with this resolution.
Okay,
So-
but they're still planning to submit that, right?
yes.
They are, to make it more in conformance with the other signs, okay. All right, and we trust they're doing that, right?
We have to, yes.
Okay, all right.
And Michelle and I talked about, she will send notice, basically, to the surrounding communities who were heavily invested in this, just so they don't all of a sudden see construction happening. We don't like that, so we appreciate the transparency. In that, I'm very unfortunate, this is how things turned out. We tried our very best.
Yes, we
sorry.
did, yep. And we were ordered by the judge to approve it.
Correct.
So, okay, all right, I make a motion to approve resolution 26-065 to approve application.
I think it's 064, yeah.
Thank you. Motion to approve resolution 26-064 to approve application RCOD 2302 Lewis Center Self-Storage.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Ringel,
Yes.
trustee Knapp,
Yes.
trustee Phelps.
Yes. Okay, anything else? Fantastic. I make a motion to approve resolution 26-065, meeting adjourned.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Ringel,
Yes.
trustee Knapp,
Yes.
trustee Phelps.
Yes. Meeting adjourned.